in today's video.
Anything that is nuclear as it pertains to his bottom line, right? He's just saying enough. He's saying that 100% was a shock collar, but he doesn't necessarily say that Hassan is shocking his dog. For the folks who don't know, this is Ludwig, who you may remember from his iconic subathon where he cried at the end. Probably one of the most inspiring.
With it, I may have been laughing with my friends, but deep down, I didn't like the content creators because most of them had this weird anti-blackness obsession. Don't know where it stems from except instinct. You guys know I'm obsessed with how he, puts his content out. So, we're going to watch a Foreign Fridays video. Just because it's Saturday. Well, yesterday was Saturday. And tonight is Sunday. From how I say it. Because you get to see the schedule change live. Anyways, let's get into the video.
Obama suit of streaming scandals, but it has revealed a reality that we desperately need to address.
Sweetie, you don't understand black people. Shut the f up.
I'm also not even friends with the son. I wouldn't go to their funeral. We would never speak again.
God, I hate the left. I hate liberalism. Ultimately,
the funny thing is that I say almost all of these same things.
We tackle in the mid of the centrist on today's Foreign Friday.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
Full disclosure, chat. I'm cool with Hassan. I think it's important that we talk about this, not only as a black creator, but also one that isn't simply looking for reasons to pile up on him.
Clown take. Can you shut up when it comes to black folks? You really don't want to talk about us unless it comes from voting. When is the last time you spoke about Sudan? I'm gonna ether you.
So first off, right?
That's a Nas reference.
Very niche reference for folks that don't listen to Nas Ilmatic.
For folks with sun allergies, yeah. It's like how TikTok speak is like AAVE, but reappropriated, and then half the time it's used for anti-black purposes.
Once TikTok started to implement dropping pictures in the comment section, you realize just how specifically black culture, a lot of these GIFs, I don't know how you pronounce it, the fact that you have pictorial evidence of just how much black culture is essential to the zeitgeist in general, but also how comfortable non-black people are to use these faces. I've seen the funny Mike, that meme a million times. It is digital blackface. You will have people saying it's not that deep. And it's to this point right now, I will say, we need to recognize it's not that deep as a dog whistle. If you have someone that is constantly, it's not that deep, it's not that deep, you will have a person that will, it's not that deep, you into fascism. I'm telling you.
We just saw that happen. That's been the past 10 years of American history.
I'm gonna ether you. Any other black folk want to engage in
it's the head for me, man.
Any other black
like this right here? Oh god, I don't know, man. That's trademarked. It's giving Gwen Stefani Hollaback girl. For the Hasanabi heads that are coming, I see y'all niggas. Howdy. I see y'all. I like Hassan though. Look at this. I got the Hasanabi heads in the chat right now, proving my point by being yam heads. I also gonna end up getting some shade from my own community when things like this happen, regardless of the context, because there is no context that can make these things okay. So putting me in a liminal space as a black man, because you literally have the Caped Cracker Crusade behaving like the very people that Hassan would fight against, mind you, which proves a further point that I hope to drive home about this platform as a whole, because this video ain't about Hassan. It's about the fact that, spoiler, all of them and them have the same communities, Hassan, Ludwig, etc. The same people watching them also watching Joe Rogan. Believe it or not, the ideological differences don't necessarily make it a deal breaker. It's the same bigoted chat with different fonts and different colors. They're all spamming Pepe the Frog and flicking Pog, but I can get into that in a second. Stay tuned.
folk want to engage in radical activist language in this chat? Suck my okay? You stupid radlib. Get the out of here. Get the out of my chat. Stupid, moronic, radlib nonsense. Suck my you. You think you have a pass in here to speak like this? Get the out of here.
Why is he doing the Italian? Lots of thoughts in here. Lots of thoughts, no prayers in here. But in order to understand why Hassan turned the term black folk into a slur just now, in order to understand this clip, we have to get into the situation. This is a situation that ought not have gotten this far.
Shot my dog, I can't stop. Yeah. Shot my dog until she drops.
He looked like Shamar in the Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's a deep cut.
They got him looking like Riff Raff.
He looked like Post Malone. This is wild. Oh God. This is definitely AI. This probably malused so much water in Michigan right now. This is in reference to Colgate. Hassan was streaming with the dog in the background, and she got up and he told her to sit down, and then she yelled,
Kaya, please just go. That's part of the reason why so many trainers have come out and been like, you guys are wrong. Like, shock collars are not like tasing the dog. It's like a tens machine. I have literally shocked myself in the past. People are just like...
A dog is a sensitive thing for folks in the West. And a lot of people will prioritize the potential of an animal suffering, sometimes over human life, but also just like as a great like rage bait topic. I'm very big on animal rights, but everybody with eyes can tell that this is not in good faith. A lot of this plays into the performative male trend as well. The idea of just anything a person with left-wing beliefs doing being wrong, it's always like headline news for them because it's a way to abdicate themselves of responsibility. It's like, oh, well, you guys were saying all this stuff about genocide and all this stuff about human rights and all this stuff about healthcare, but listen, you did this thing bad with your dog. So obviously you're just lying and then we're all the same and I don't have to pay attention to you.
This might be hyperbolic, but I think Colgate is the new rubber match of purity politics to an extent. I don't think a lot of people actually care about the dog. They just want to dunk on Hassan. This is the new Palestine for folks who never knew nor cared about Palestinian genocide in the first place. Colgate isn't about loving no damn dogs. It's about hating Hassan. Osman reacts to Hassan crashing out on stream. Why is this man pinker than a white man's frog?
Because he doesn't eat fruits?
I can't stand any of you dogs in this goddamn chat. Oh my God, I hate the left. I hate liberalism. I hate everything that's going on every single day of the goddamn week. I hate my life. I hate streaming. I hate socialism. I hate every single person who thinks that the peak of activism is just being the most annoying, holier than thou, the most ultimately...
The funny thing is that I say almost all of these same things.
Woke leftist.
Yeah, true.
You did it. You have unlocked the nihilism within me, okay?
Yes!
This is what happens when leftists don't take care of themselves. It's got to be more than just like weightlifting and playing basketball. Like, the reality is that if you are in this process, especially as a white person, where you have to be deprogramming yourself, I need to put myself in a position where I'm not triggering myself to return to those behaviors. A lot of folks are liberated logically, but they're colonizers spiritually.
If you're streaming every day for 8 hours almost, you will be triggered because it is your content. Your means of making means is also the mechanism that kills you, that regresses you. I have to break down anti-blackness as a job sometimes. There's a level of burnout that we don't interact with by not only just being a creator, but being this type of creator. By being the type of creator that creates creations from looking at the ugliness of the world and then translating it into something that has value.
It just makes me sad, when I see somebody like Hassan going through this, because I've seen him when he's locked in.
I'm getting ahead of myself because I should have been talking about the roach roommate, Osman Gold. Osman Gold is unfortunately going to be a reoccurring character today as he represents another side of the political aisle.
Do I think Hassan shocks his dog? I have no clue. I think he lied about having a shock collar. I think he 100% had a shock collar based off what's on my For You page. Maybe I'm getting psyoped. He's adamant that he hasn't shocked her. But that 100% is a shock collar.
Ludwig is one of the top streamers in the game. He's definitely got some PR training. He's not going to say anything that is nuclear as it pertains to his bottom line, right? He's just saying enough. He's saying that 100% was a shock collar, but he doesn't necessarily say that Hassan is shocking his dog. For the folks who don't know, this is Ludwig, who you may remember from his iconic subathon where he cried at the end. Probably one of the most inspiring moments on Twitch. But you also may remember him from, of course, enabling his friend Mango to abuse not only himself, but everyone else in his vicinity with his alcohol addiction, as well as humping female streamers like a dog in heat. But Ludwig is a shrewd businessman. He's made one of the most successful creator empires. And the way he achieved this was by having no opinions whatsoever on anything. He doesn't make any explicit political statements, as he wants to allow the largest amount of people to project their beliefs onto him. The only time when Ludwig gives his political opinion is when it's popular to do so.
That's a safety valve. You don't have to worry about politics because the politics are for you. For somebody who's a white guy, all of this stuff can be peripheral. That's like a business strategy, but like in the Twitch sphere, the content creator sphere, it's really hard. Your whole business is parasocial. Your whole thing is your marketing authenticity. Eventually that kind of collapses because at some point you are forced to pick a side.
Ludwig will only talk about things that there's already a consensus made about.
I'll just play it, but like seriously, be chill about it, okay?
Can I really just forget that Epstein's a pedophile?
Me off the track, me off the track, me off the track.
Meat on the beat.
You notice that Ludwig is making light yet again of Epstein, which despite being political, it's a publicly popular belief to hold. Even the Palestinian genocide, you began to see an influx of celebrities begin to stand publicly with Palestine once it became relatively popular to do so.
I use those people usually as a barometer for the success of a movement. You're at a point where Jennifer Lawrence, who was like buddy-buddy with Amy Schumer, raging Zionist, now is just like, it's absolutely a genocide, like 2 years later, right? What that indicates to me, though, is that Palestinian activists have shifted the barometer in terms of where society stands on that. Aside from my optimism, I have a big beef with the way that a white guy who is nice and says reasonable things sometimes becomes Jesus Christ on the internet. It's Hank Green. You know, it's John Green, it's Ludwig, and then it's Penguins, or, you know, Charlie. Taylor Swift puts out this necklace that kind of looks like it has Nazi insignia on it, and people are going on there and being like, after all these microaggressions, you're not checking on how this symbolism works, how it looks in the middle of a fascist regime in the United States that you're cozy with. Then Hank Green goes on, and because y'all give him this green light to just have an opinion on anything, even though he's like not even a scientist, he's a science communicator who can't even figure out like how knitting is scientific, and got dragged by the skin of his teeth by white women, black women, and other women online who are like, how do you not realize the scientific process of knitting? Like, this guy is gonna tell me about solidarity. This guy's got a lot to tell me about how we have to build coalition.
Charlie is the face of fence sitting. Ludwig making an Epstein joke here and there, talking about Epstein, making a bunch of videos on Epstein. And then you have Moist Critical doing literally the same thing.
It's letting people bet money on who will be on the Epstein list. I'm doing that right now. Wait, what?
Apart from him saying you have a betting site talking about who's going to be on the Epstein list, and then him saying that he's going to do that right now. Not only do I think like he genuinely does not care about this, but also he's contentifying large scale operation of kick enjoyers.
With someone like Charlie, it's this nice person thing. We harp so much on the inherent quality of a person's personality. Good is not something you are, it's something you do. And we fixate a lot on like, well, this guy means well. You don't understand when he did this other nice thing. And we have to focus on criticizing a person's action and stop essentializing like the purity of their personality. He said the thing about iDubbbz not having to apologize for having a racist past because he felt very comfortable speaking over black people on that.
You just made edgy YouTube videos. You didn't ruin anybody's life. You didn't create.
Wrong. I think that Ian didn't invent racism, obviously, but he certainly fucking played a not insignificant role in giving people the weapons to be racist as they want to for an entire generation. He was incredibly notable.
We build these buildings and then they shape us. You know what I mean? Like the environment that we foster with our words, with our actions, they do have meanings. It's always that deep. You can't even see yourself in just like an individualistic lens because you have to also consider the fact that if you are very much a fence sitter like Charlie or like Lud, you basically are upholding a whole institution. You are not just operating in your own capacity. Charlie built his whole brand off of being the both sides guy. And if there's an equator, he will walk that tightrope straight to success, which is a theme here. Both Ludwig and Charlie are some of the most successful creators on the entirety of social media. All of them got their start in gaming, interestingly enough, which we know to definitely be a very difficult place for anybody that isn't also in the same intersections of Charlie and Ludwig. Charlie, Ludwig, all the rest of them, they have the privilege to be quote unquote apolitical.
He's incentivized to do so. You know, it's
good point.
It's part of how the system works, is getting a lot of nice white people to look away. They're collaborating in a certain way. And you can be unintentionally a collaborator. They're clever. It's the same way they do the black squares, right? It's the same way that they do the Epstein list. You know, this is crazy that people do that, right? They watch what's safe to talk about, and then I'm gonna drop a little extra spice.
Given all of that, what we are talking about, it's interesting to see when he decides to get a little bit political, when he decides to give his opinion on things, which brings me to this clip what we were talking about before, saying that I am not friends with Hassan.
Now, coming clean politically, I don't know if you guys know much about me. I share probably a decent amount of politics with Hassan. Not everything. I'm not a socialist. I like making money. I'm a CEO here. But, you know, some other maybe more social issues, sure. I'm also not even friends with Hassan. Legitimately, I'm not. He's not someone that I invite to like my birthday or things like that. He's someone I've done streams with, and I think they were fun. He's a streamer friend is the group I call. But we're not boys. My boys are Slime, Aiden, Nick, the people that I hang out with actually on a week-to-week basis. When I retire, I will never speak to 95% of the streamers I collab with again. Hassan is part of that group. That's a fact. This is just the reality of life. Okay? Connor, I'm an actual friend with. Connor, I would actually speak with after. But most streamers, I wouldn't. It's just true. They wouldn't go to my funeral. I wouldn't go to their funeral. We would never speak again. The same thing that you would experience if you ever worked like a job and then retired from said job or moved on to a different job.
Why did this have to be said? If Foreign was like,
if I just came out of nowhere, you going through it or something like that, I say, you know what?
Right.
Fuck Ellie, I never liked that nigga anyway.
If Foreign was like, oh, I just went through some stuff, like we haven't talked or whatever, and I go online, I'm like, listen guys, I just want to let you know, like 95% of the people you see me collaborate with, I don't even really know them like that. Like they seem cool, but like I'm not friends with them. If they died, I probably wouldn't go to their funeral. With Ludwig, when you're a person that's continuously like avoiding the controversy, when your time comes, nobody comes in the chat and defends you. Why? Because they don't really believe in you. They don't believe, they don't know you, and they don't believe that you're doing anything other than what's good for your own interests.
The only thing that we could trust of Ludwig is that he's an opportunist. Enough time had passed in Collegate, and it would seem as though with Pokemon's team saying that they don't want to release the podcast episode with Hassan because of Collegate, which showed kind of like a level of trepidation on Hassan's mutuals and collaborators. It seemed as though a lot of people that were defending Hassan, like Vanilla Mace and them, also ended up getting a lot of backlash. Ludwig, they're seeing that and they're just like, you know, I ain't gonna fall on the sword for Hassan.
I've been getting canceled for abusing my dog, Kaya. Yeah. A clip went around very quickly, and to be fair,
it's a very convincing clip.
Yeah. It's not
like
good.
an insanely
it's not good.
The timing is horrible in that clip.
It's awful timing. I'm reaching. I should stop reaching for zinc canisters in general. Now, every time Kai actually walks,
he was reaching.
Every time Kai caught, I literally just put my hands up. I'm like, I didn't do anything.
To the point of it being like really convincing. A lot of what people were saying that was convincing was the fact that the dog yelped. If you've ever had a dog, you know that that does happen. Like for some more than others, things like that just tell me that a lot of the people that make this criticism are making it from a standpoint where they don't really give a fuck about dogs, right? Like they actually don't even care about animals either. What's interesting to them is how they can weaponize it against somebody that they see as an opponent for whatever reason that they don't like.
This is content for them. I want to examine how this works with Cutie. Cutie is Ludwig's girlfriend and also Hassan's podcast mate. And all of their respective audience applied a lot of pressure on everyone involved with this, but a brunt of the criticism and a lot of the misogyny of the criticism went on the QT. Like I was talking about this in regards to DDG and J Cinco and Lala Baptiste. The way that people attacked DDG and J Cinco, mostly J Cinco, is to attack Lala Baptiste because she is seen in this gender dynamic to be property of J Cinco because that's his girlfriend. The same way in which QT, to an extent, ends up bearing a lot of the brunt of this discussion because the women adjacent to the boys fighting end up being collateral damages.
That is part of why you don't see very many black women streamers. And then that's how the situation reifies itself, because then you don't have black women that are popular on Twitch. And when you want to see something about politics, you're seeing Hassan, you're seeing white guys on Twitch. And then you're treating Twitch as this neutral platform, right? You're not looking at Twitch as like, oh, this is a racist white platform. Maybe I should go on, the black streaming service. That's all aside from the fact that white people won't make the effort themselves to go seek it out anyway.
That all came to a head just this past week during the same controversies that we're talking about right now when Emiru got assaulted at TwitchCon.
After being sexually assaulted at TwitchCon, Emiru shared her experience on her latest stream, adding to fellow women streamers who expressed their safety concerns leading up to this year's TwitchCon. So let's talk about it. On day one of TwitchCon, October 17th, cosplay streamer Emily Beth Shunk, known online as Emiru, hosted a meet and greet, and a random man grabbed her and tried to forcibly kiss her. In Emmy's October 18th stream, she went into detail of how things unfolded from her perspective. She originally thought that the man that was approaching her was a part of TwitchCon staff. Emmy expressed that her personal security guard who was seen on video was the only one to step in, and that Twitch's security was, quote, nowhere near me, nowhere to be found. I can see them, but they don't do anything.
There's tangible consequences for the type of environment that has been cultivated by the figureheads of these platforms. All of these things are connected. Twitch is an aggregate of all of these communities centered around figures like Hassan, like Ludwig, like Asmongold, and spoiler, regardless of the political aisle they reside on, it's the same audience. A lot of the things that these men embody are not mutually exclusive. You can very easily transition from a Hassan chat to a Ludwig chat. In fact, that's the reason why they're often on stream. It's not as though like there's a deal breaker of which these cultures are just so vehemently different. The sad part is they're the same. And the reason why is because, yet again, there's nothing about these men that are so categorically different that it challenges the status quo. Folks like Tyler the Creator, Childish Gambino, and probably Hobson are some of the most apparent white whisperers. Tyler has made a career off of edgelord, white edgelord specifically, culture. Like I was bumping Tyler back in the Bastard era. I remember the Earl debut, Hodgie Beats, all of them.
Yep.
Arguably, Odd Future, some of the most important rap posses since Wu-Tang, and one of the most important rap posses also before Brockhampton. But Tyler and his crew performed an edgy act that allowed him to be a vehicle for the angsty white online male culture that still exists now, but was rampant in the early 2010s. And not only was it anti-black, but it was specifically and categorically misogynoir. This is a great example.
Got all the black bitches mad cause my main bitch vanilla. She trying to get her groove back like Stella.
That was one of his most popular songs.
Someone like Earl Sweatshirt kind of diverged from the Tyler the Creator path as a kind of example of the energy of what Tyler was doing and how it affected other people around him. Earl Sweatshirt, if people remember, was a member of Odd Future, had disappeared because his mom sent him to boarding school in Samoa to get him out of the limelight of this encroaching movement that was becoming so big it was going to swallow her kid whole. And Tyler had created this whole culture around Free Earl and essentially created free reign for really millions of young people, usually white, around the world to say all types of nasty stuff about Earl Sweatshirt's mom, who is, mind you, a critical race theorist. Earl Sweatshirt's dad was a South African poet. Mind you, Tyler the Creator did an interview in 2014 saying, I think everybody should be able to say the N-word.
You use the N-word? Yes. Now, that's an offensive word to some people, to many people. And in what terms do you use it?
I don't know, man. See, people have to understand, I grew up in a different time, so where that word is just a word. It has no effect, but it is a double standard because there's certain people who will get offended if someone who doesn't have the skin tone of me says it. which is really weird, you know? Like, then they're keeping the original meaning of that a lot. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, if a white person says
yeah, like if a white person says it,
isn't it derogatory?
Like it's derogatory because your skin isn't the same color as mine.
Why is Larry King, bro? Larry King is the woke one here. Larry King is the one making sense, dog. Telling a black man why he should actually be offended by a word that used to justify his death. Hold on, let me try to finish this.
But why when it's just weird that a lot of people still get, you know, upset with that. And it's like, I don't know. I think you give certain words power.
Are you saying it's just a word?
Yeah, like if you choose
is
to be
there any word
you
that
could call me and I would not give a fuck.
Oh God.
22 years old.
22 years old.
Now that we understand, you know, Tyler says these things that are, you know, pretty pro-black here and there, and like he's come out as queer, and you know, but he's never addressed what he's done before when you were 22, 23 years old. The D'Angelo discourse, where, you know, D'Angelo, pioneer, God-level R&B artist, passes away a few days ago, and Tyler, the Creator, is making a big, you know, tribute post to it. You know, he's trying to be a strong advocate for Black artists. He's getting this kind of nonchalant response from these non-Black fans. That just speaks to also, like, even post your edgelord phase, quote unquote, you were still kind of not political. You were still not somebody who was drawing lines, who was setting boundaries with your audience on certain regards.
If you look at a Tyler concert, probably even to this day, you have a bunch of white people up inside there trying to say the word. Tyler gets asked if he dates black women. The circumcised SM7B right here. They took the pop filter off, and it's really hurting me because he just raw dogging the SM7B.
I think Kay is mad at me, and I don't like it.
No. She is. She definitely is.
She's very old. Now it's awkward. Now every time I look in your direction, I just sense this.
You like black girls. You want her to tighten up. Watch this.
What? Do you like black girls?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
What?
He's lying.
He's definitely lying.
How do you think I'm lying?
So you don't date black girls? Or you just don't have sex with black girls?
Black girls are cool. They're cool.
Black girls don't like you?
I like mixed chicks.
Do black girls like you?
I like black and white chicks together. They're slowly starting to think I'm cool. At
Like,
first
what do you
they
mean?
thought I was weird.
You are a little weird.
Okay, see, exactly. That's that mind state.
No,
that
but
y'all have. And y'all
weird
treat
can
me
be
like
fun.
shit.
Just like Childish Gambino, it's like this league of white whisperers is what I call it. Essentially, like black people that perform specifically for the white gaze. His brand of horrorcore music and everything was ostensibly anti-black. Most importantly, anti-black women. When he transitioned from this edgelord era, he tried to get rid of the white incel folks them. But they didn't leave him. Tyler bastardizing his blackness was the price he paid for a white edgelord audience to make him famous, and now he's reaping the seeds of bigotry he's sowing.
You do an initial harm, and then all the time that you spend not addressing, not paying off that debt from that initial harm, it collects, maybe even a small interest rate, but it collects interest over time to where it becomes more and more harmful. Why? Because especially as a public figure, you are creating a culture around you of people who think that it is okay to have said those things.
This clip from Hassan, in now understanding the full lead up to this moment and the way also in which these audiences operate, this is a prison to an extent that Hassan is now in, even if he's trying to alleviate himself from that.
Clown take. Can you shut the fuck up when it comes to black folks? You really don't want to talk about us unless it comes from voting. When is the last time you spoke about Sudan? I'm gonna ether you. Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this chat? Suck my. Okay, you stupid radlib. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my chat. Stupid, moronic, radlib nonsense. Suck my. You. You think you have a pass in here to speak like this? Get the fuck out of here.
The radlib thing is an insult that is supposed to be used for folks that, you know, radical liberal, right? Somebody who is essentially, you know, espousing liberal politics, but couches that in radical aesthetic, makes it seem like they are the resistance when in fact they're just like saying, you know, vote for Biden or whatever. When it comes to what's happening with the anti-black aspect of what we're talking about, there is, again, a degree to which black folks and their issues get double marginalized by the left leftists, the white leftists that they're supposed to be in solidarity with, because there is a sense that they're emphasizing cultural issues, or they're emphasizing, certain types of purity politics. I'm not even saying this commenter that Hassan's reacting to was speaking in good faith. There are a lot of people who will weaponize genocide in Sudan and the Congo as a way to dismiss from the Palestinian genocide. It's a classic tactic. It's whataboutism, right? Regardless, the fact of using an insult like Radlib for something like that, it's like a specific chip in the white leftist brain that happens whenever marginalized leftists, folks who are black, brown leftists, whatever, are like, we should talk about XYZ. I don't care how left you think you are as a white person. If you are ever in a position to start yelling at some black person because you think they're being distracting or you think they're acting up, you're losing the plot. All that's going to do is empower people around you to do that to black people who are correct, or to just dismiss the concerns of black people writ large.
He needed to get his ass offline, fondle some grass.
Dumb. You think I'm gonna baby you? Go ahead. Go post a clip about how much of a white supremacist I am. Suck my annoying, dumb. God damn, dude. This kind of attitude is so...
It's almost like representative government to an extent. Everybody's in a big town hall, and in this case, Hassan is receiving all of these special interests of which he's trying to advocate for. But the problem is he's then vituperating a person inside the town hall in front of everybody to see. And that person also happens to be a marginalized class of which the entire platform, as well as your base, is inculcated and conditioned to already see as not human in the first place. Black people already are seen online because of the way anti-blackness works. So if the person that is literally holding the town hall is vituperating that one black person that like you're putting a spotlight on, then they're gonna follow by example. They idolize you, they aspire you, they have parasocial bonds with you, and they're seeing you specifically target this black person that has pissed you off inside your chat.
Repulsive. Like, what the do you think you're doing? We're talking about creating a larger, broad, people-back movement and creating solidarity, and you immediately got root.com article regurgitators in here instantly being like, sweetie, you don't understand black people. Shut the up.
Him saying, sweetie, you don't understand black people, and in the way the dog is doing it, I ain't like that. Oh God.
What's extra frustrating about this is that what he's being asked to do here, collect your thoughts, don't say too much, don't get aggravated. That's the shit marginalized people do every single day.
That attitude left a long time ago. It doesn't work, okay? Keep advocating for your own demise then. Standpoint theory ass mother. Oh my God. Every time this shit pops off, there's like a million people in the chat being like, actually, we're not rocking with those folks because they're not rocking with us. Like, I get it, dude. Okay, yeah, you want to be selfish. Okay, fine. Who cares?
All of these audiences, no matter if Hassan is the figurehead, a lot of them share overlapping communities because a lot of them don't see the delivery that Ludwig gives different than that Hassan could give. They could easily be in Ludwig's community in 1 second, then Ludwig wrapping up his stream, and then they go right to Hassan. And then from there, they're going to jump to someone else. Not because of the ideological differences, but simply because they don't present any real deal breakers by virtue of the fact that they are still benefiting from that system. Once you have almost no rungs of marginalization in you, Hassan white, spicy white, but white, male, straight, and rich. I can't get into those particular rooms. If he was going down the line, before they look at his name and it says Hassan, if he was going down the line of the TSA, they wasn't gonna pull him to the side. They just put me to the side, and a big man named Bob is frisk me down every time. Oh God. Okay? Like, ultimately, there are people that cannot take off these rungs of marginalization. Don't matter how much money I could ever get in my life, at the end of the day, someone can still see me as, and only that. A lot of the white creators that you do follow are able to be covert, go stealth. Some people can't. Even myself, I'm still a man at the end of the day.
One thing that white folks are not trained to think about is like, there's a lot of black folks that collaborate with Hassan. that have been on his stream, that champion him, that like him, that are his friends. And when you do something like this, you put those Black friends and allies of yours in a really difficult position, especially when they're trying to champion what you're championing. They're trying to see you as an ally as important. And folks within the Black community are going to be like, why are you collaborating with this guy? He's anti-Black. What position am I putting the people who care about me in? What position am I putting my group, my organization, my coalition?
So, sorry about the delay, but I want to come up with what I want to talk about before I actually just start, talking. So, what fence sitting is, to describe the definition, this is by AI's terms. But you can also find it on dictionary, but we'll just do it briefly. Fence sitting is an idiom for delaying a decision or taking a neutral stance between two opposing sides. This can stem from uncertainty, a desire to remain neutral, or fear of offending either party. While sometimes a temporary or strategic choice, it can also be a source of stress and lead to analysis paralysis. The opposite is to take a decisive action, choose a side, or get off the fence. Basically, I guess that was the AI telling you to resolve it. Don't know. I don't care. Now, that definition kind of makes sense to some really good extent. So I feel like there's a lot of people in the world that do fence sitting, but aren't really good at fence sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, those who are doing fence sitting, they kind of just don't want to be involved. Because once they get involved, it just, it looks bad for their image. They don't want to take either side, so they would rather just stay out of it. It's out of fear, out of, as the definition said, it's out of fear, out of offending the other party, the other side. But, when they start talking about anti-Blackness and, how Hassan was really talking to that one Black viewer in particularly, I kind of had to say that I feel like no one fence sits with Black people. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I've never believed it, and I never will. I know for a fact that internet culture is obsessed with hating on us. So fence sitting for Black people would be like, because I'm sitting on the fence, I'm waiting for you to do something real stupid and say something that will piss me off so I can have a reason to be racist. No one can fence sit with Black people because they'll look up things, they'll try to look up reasons to hate Blacks, and they'll try to find a fucking weird ass reason to hate. And it wouldn't even be something that's a real good reason. It's just, oh, I saw this on the internet. Oh, I dealt with this as an experience when I was a kid. Blah, blah, blah. And I feel like people who do take neutral positions also don't really have a good opinion. That is something I will say straight up. I'm a person who takes neutral positions, but that's only if I really do not have information. I'm not a fence sitter. Trust me, I'll sit on a bench for a cool minute, but once I come to my conclusion, I'm no longer on the bench. I'm in the game. I've now picked the side I want to be cool with. Now, most of these types of people, they sit on the fence intentionally trying to act like they don't have this opinion about such and such. But deep down, we have all this animosity built up. Now, as you notice with Hassan, immediate animosity built up. It didn't even take him probably that long to even think of it. Just was like, black? Yeah, never mind. Let me go into full fucking turbo mode and completely talk all my little anti-blackness feelings against him. But in a more professional way, to try to act like he's not being anti-black. See, the reason why I harp on the word anti-black is because it's ingrained in social media. The obsession with black people is crazy. If I was to tell you how many people were to sit around, make groups of Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts, YouTube, all sorts of shit of why black people deserve to be back in slavery and all this shit, I wish I could. Too many. Most of them are either banned or they violate TOS. So what would be the point? But this type of behavior is so common. Hassan couldn't help it. It's not something that he wanted to do intentionally. It's an instinct. It's something that everyone has been taught. Just as how Foreign Fridays and how Elliot was talking about how you are a like figure to your chat. So now these people in his chat are going to start disrespecting black people just for the fuck of it, because it's funny and it's just an instinct. If they were looking for reasons to disrespect blacks, they found it. That one little viewer. No, from now on, we see a black viewer, we're going to disrespect them for no fucking reason, even if they step out of line one little time. Like the smallest criticism is enough for us to fucking say something. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, everybody feels the need to do this type of fucking fence sitting bullshit until the animosity has finally built up to the real fucking thing. I'm telling you, it's ingrained in the internet, and I've said it multiple times, but I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. Now, I want to get on to the fence sitting part that isn't really fucking fence sitting at this point. So, you know, I've always felt something about Tyler Creator's music. Not the biggest fan. Okay? I'm gonna say that right now. I haven't been the biggest fan. I felt like there was always something weird about the dude, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But as you guys can see, you know, as I like to call it, it's more a people pleasing. You know, I would say a house thing, but we're gonna keep it to myself. So he's saying the C word, he's talking about whites, blacks, Asians, Mexicans. So he's just being completely edgy. We know what it is. Weird, edgy nigga type behavior. I'm the oddball type of nigga that just, you know, everyone didn't really fuck with. Tyler's definitely an oddball. Like, anyone making these types of tweets, you gotta have the mentality of a child. And this is him at 22 years old. I would hate to see him in his 40s. Or surely he's not fucking mature enough. Jesus Christ. And then, you know, Moist Critical. Yeah. I wanted to address this. So, I think I remember, if by my mind is correct, I do remember iDub saying a slur. So, to shortly summarize this up, the fact that Moist Critical went out of his way to justify edgy behavior is a huge red flag for me. If I believe he got cooked by Mastar, he just got cooked by someone he doesn't even know he got cooked by, which is crazy. So, I don't like anyone justifying the 2016 edgeball era. As someone who grew up in that timeline as a minor, I don't like that timeline completely. I may have been having fun with it. I may have been laughing with my friends, but deep down, I didn't like the content creators because most of them had this weird anti-blackness obsession. Don't know where it stems from except instinct. That's my conclusion. It's instinct. You don't even really do it. You just think nothing of it. You breathe it. You just start saying things anti-black because it's just something you do. But you know, that's an extreme L on Moist Critical's part that he's justifying that shit. That's all we need, ladies and gentlemen, is to justify it. That's how anti-blackness really starts to get control. I don't care if it's 10, 11, 13 years ago. Like, fuck that shit. Fuck you. Honestly. Like, anyone justifying that, it just annoys me. And then they talked about the Pepper the Frog emoji. Yeah. That thing is meant for the worst of the worst. I'm not even going to summarize it. Just know it's meant for the worst. Anyone even having the Pepper the Frog profile pic is a true primordial loser of all time of the internet. Like, you've proven you've gone to the lowest point of the internet to where you have become a true primordial loser. The fact that someone like you even exists is crazy. And the fact that your edgy ass is still here, feeling like you're relevant because you have that 14-year-old mindset, is fucking ridiculous. But hey, no one's not going to call you out on your actions because it's so fucking funny. Yes, we are still stuck in the 2016 era of things. And, you know, guys, it's so fucking funny that we're still doxing people. We're still looking for addresses. We're still calling people racial slurs. We're doing the same shit. Yeah, so fucking funny. Gee, I wonder where I've heard that joke before. Hasn't stopped since then. It's just, I just think to myself, there's so many fucking fence sitters that just don't want to speak out against simple shit that should be talked about. Simple ass shit that should be like, hey, this is not cool. I'm 20 something years old or 28 years old and I'm still thinking this is still funny. This is why we won't have equality, because there's so many people like this that just don't speak up, and Moist Critical has a big ass platform. He could stop the anti-blackness to some extent, low key, teaching his own audience that. Like 1 million people? Bro, just imagine 9.1 whatever billion, million, whatever the fuck people on a subscriber list. And you not even trying to teach them right from wrong? I don't know what else to tell you. That's all I need to hear. Like, the fuck? You not gonna teach them that this shit is wrong? And you know, on the topic of Tyler, right? But not Tyler right this instant. I already have a video out on Emiru. If you guys wanna, you know, check that out, that's up to you. Coming in Sunday. Today. Right. Back to it. So, the fact that, you know, this clip got me to a point that I want to talk about this. This is real fence sitting right here. If this is not the definition of what it truly is, I don't know what else is.
was a South African poet. Mind you, Tyler, the Creator, did an interview in 2014 saying, I think everybody should be able to say the N-word.
You use the N-word. Yes. Now, that's an offensive word to some people, to many people. And in what terms do you use it?
I don't know, man. See, like, people have to understand, I grew up in a different time, so where that word is just a word. It has no effect, but it is a double standard because...
Look, the fact that he's even doing that, he's not just the first type of black person that does it. A lot of, you know, Uncle Ruckuses do that a lot. They'll talk about how it's just a word and they'll repeat the same shit for someone else because it just sounds like a trend thing to do. Even when the internet wasn't a thing, it's just a word. Remember, this is also intentional Uncle Tom fuckery to me. It's the type of black that pretends like he's an oddball because a couple of other blacks bullied him in high school or elementary, so now he's holding this weird, unnecessarily weird, but just worthless grudge that he's holding on his back. So he feels obligated to give everyone else outside of his race a chance to be a bigot. But that's just my theory, though. It's not even a theory. It's actually probably correct. Because there's a lot of blacks like him, and they don't really get the memo that this anti-black shit is weird. It doesn't just stem from something that fucking deep. It stems from the simple fact of identity. He saw other people outside of his race more liked than his own people. So now all black people are these demonic entities and you just can't be around them or some shit. Something along those weird old ass lines. Look, the M-word is not something you should be saying. You will get smacked and knocked the fuck out. Quit playing with people. Stop it. I get it. You're trying to please other people outside your race, but actually they find it to be weird that you're going out of your way to prove something to them. They don't like you. They don't. Secretly, they really do not, and they will turn on you so fucking quick. Quit playing. Swear, like, Tyler is not that bright of a person if you really think about it intelligently. Like, Tyler doesn't understand that his own little white, Mexican, Asian, whatever fan base is going to turn on him eventually. If they feel like they're really pissed, you know, they might just say, black man does this, black man does that, and jail time. They don't care about your Uncle Tom fuckery. It's not going to work. Sorry. That Uncle Tom magic is not going to work for everybody. No one's going to fall for it. Again, people outside of my race, from what I know, they don't like weakness. And if they sense that weakness, they will exploit it twice over. Meaning, Tyler was probably the type of kid that got more likely bullied by people outside of his race than the ones inside. He just had more animosity towards people like him. Like, I don't understand how people like this just live and just say this shit. But look, guys. You know, when you making unhinged tweets, being a weirdo, fence sitting, no, I can't really completely respect you. I understand neutral positions, but at some point, you gotta get up off the fucking bench and go with everyone else. Make a decision or stay the fuck out of everything permanently. That's how I see it. Neutrality. Ugh. Well, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Neutral behavior is only acceptable if it's worth the actual risk. But if you can't do it Why fucking bother? Why bother being neutral when that might put you in even worser position than you were in? Like, let's be smart about it. Let's not just be neutral because we want to stay out of it. Let's be smart about our neutral position. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Just teach your friends, family, less anti-blackness, and, you know, will actually help in less fence sitting, so we can actually have a perspective for once. Again, another banger on Friday's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.
Hi, I'm Lucy Christian. I am the voice of Otako Uraraka, and you should subscribe to Neusxanity's channel. Peace out!